We are going to take a look at working with a built-in action within Acrobat 11 Pro. And what you're looking at is a travel expense report, and I have this one named Dash Untagged. And this has been converted to a form by Acrobat. I have not perfected it specifically. As you can see, there are a couple of form fields missing. In form editing mode, this document needs some fields changed. Their names are not quite correct, so it needs customizing still. But what I want to do is run an action on it right now. And I'm going to open up the Tools pane, and that is where this piece is located. Now you could certainly add this up into your Quick Tools area, but I'll just go over to the Action Wizard so you can get familiar with this piece and what's available within this area, specifically the actions listed down here. So these are pre-built actions within Acrobat. Everybody's Acrobat version of Acrobat 11 Pro has these already installed. So if you are using somebody else's machine, you would have these exact same actions that I do. But it is possible to customize these. So what I'm going to do is run this Make Accessible action. And if you hover over these, it will tell you a little bit more information about what each one does. Now the Make Accessible action creates accessible PDF documents. And what that means is if somebody's using a screen reader to try and fill out this form, there are some features built into Acrobat that can assist them. And people who need to use screen readers are those who can't view the screen, so they have some physical handicap. Either it's eyesight or they may not be able to use a mouse or keyboard. And if that's the case, they are having this entire form read to them, and then they issue back commands for that screen reader to do within the form. Now this would be a tricky form to fill out if that was the case, so we want to make it as easy as possible. One of the most obvious ways to do that is in the File menu. If I go down to Properties and open it up for this specific form, notice it's for the entire document, and I go out into Description, what I actually can take a look at is I can see if it's a tagged document. Now, a tagged PDF document contains more information within the structure or within the bit data, so to speak, of the document so that screen readers can tie in with that structure, and it makes it easier for the user to work with a screen reader on your form. So one of the first things the Make Accessible does is add tags to the document. But let's go ahead and click that. And once I do, you can see the entire pane becomes a series of steps that are performed on this specific document that I have open. Or, notice my document is open right here. Or, I can click the Add Files, I can add more, or the drop down, you can see I can do quite a few different things. I'm just going to work with the document that's open right now, not add any additional files, and I'm going to click the Start button. Now notice once I do, it turns to Stop. Now all of these are features of an accessible document. So I'm going to give this a name, and I'm going to name it Travel Expense Report. The subject is Expense Report. Oh, let's just make it Expenses. And this in the keywords will be travel. And let's also say expenses. So what I'm doing is putting in additional words within the document as metadata, and that allows searching within an operating system as well as within the document itself. Now once I do that, and you can see this is now checked, Set Open Options is checked. Now what I'm going to do is recognize text. So I'll go ahead and downsample. The assumption here is that this is a scanned copy of a document. So it's just come out of the scanner and it's an image. Now our form is actually an official form. So we'll say searchable image here. Notice there are a couple of other options, but I'll leave it at searchable image. I'll click OK. Now it moves into, here's the tab order property. Already set that, so we're down in the set reading language. So what happens is, this is a series of steps that are performed on your document, the ones you specify up at the top of this command, and as each step is gone through, you get a check mark, and it shows you what the next step is. I'll go ahead and click OK for the reading language. Notice it went ahead and added tags to the document automatically. So some of these actions happen automatically. Acrobat is going to detect figures, so I'll go ahead and click OK. No figures with missing alt text. There are no images on this page or basic charts or things that aren't described within the text. Click OK. I'm now down here. And when I do that, it moves into running the full check to double check the document. I'll click Start Checking. And notice it did find some issues. So let me go out to the document. The reading order and color contrast, well, I know those are set up correctly because it's all done in a table. Let me open up the form. Field descriptions failed. So what I can do is right-click, and I can go ahead and run any of these. What I'm going to do is say skip rule because I'm not quite done describing or adding descriptions to every form field. So I'll say skip that rule, and you can see I get a little caution now. I'll open up the table piece, and it looks like there's some issues with the table, so let me right-click, and if I do that, notice it shows me what part of the table it's talking about. What actually happened is this was subdivided in the structure of the PDF document into two different pieces, the upper piece and the lower piece. And I'm just going to say skip rule. I'll do the same thing here. Notice it was checked automatically when I did the first one, and I should be all set. So this is my accessibility checker and a report of what happened, and I'm able to work through the entire document. So that is how you work with the Make Accessible built-in action within Acrobat 11. Once I'm done, I can simply click the Close button and click off of my document, close out my checker, and save my document. Now I'm going to save this as not untagged, but I'm going to have it say tagged instead. So there is my document, all tagged at least for the time being. But that is how you can walk through the Make Accessible action, which is one of the built-in actions within Acrobat 11 Pro, and it gives you a sequence of steps to walk through to perform a specific task within Acrobat.